Hello friends, my name is Dakstakar and today we are going to see one game which played in the Caro Kann opening. So the game happened with between Kajner and Christensen in 1991. So let's start the game. Generally the Caro Kann defense start with the pawn to e4, but here it will start with the pawn to d4. Opponent play pawn to c6, and after white plays the e4, it convert into the Caro Kann defense. The black try to take the pawn. Here the white respond with the knight to defend the pawn with the knight. So whenever the pawn will take it, you can just capture with the knight and then your knight will be in the center. Pawn takes, knight takes, and now you see that the pawn is defended by the queen, so he can't take it. So he tries to exchange the knight. Here the main move will be just exchange the knights, but in the game white goes on the knight to g3 to just develop. Okay, why the knight goes there? The reason behind that is like after developing all the pieces, white can do the castle, and at that time, if the both the knights are here, it's easy. If the black will do the short castle, then we can take over these weaknesses with the two knights. So let's see what happened in the game. So black tried to prevent the bishop to g5, and he stopped that move. Then white say, okay, I just develop my knight, knight to f3. There is one sentence which called knight come first. In the chess, you have the two option to develop the pieces like knight or the bishop. So what you can do, generally you have to put the knight first because the knight is a short range piece, so it can go far very quickly, while the bishop is a long range piece, so she can work from the like its original position. So that's why we put the knight on the f3. Just pin the knight. Okay, so now whenever you move the knight, it will just lose your queen. But that is a trick. It's called reliable pin. What is a reliable pin? When you can move the piece, it's allowed, but when you do that, you have to some give some material to your opponent. And the another pin is like absolute pin. In that, you are not allowed to move. Like if the king is on the e2, then whatever happens, you can't move the knight because it's a illegal move. So if the king is on the e2, then it's absolute pin, but right now it's a reliable pin. So there is one trick which white can try it, and if you get that kind of condition, reliable pin, you can also think that kind of moves. So here the white plays the bishop to c4, and then what is the threat behind it? Now the knight is a pin, right? But it's a reliable pin, so you can move it. Okay, so let's see what happened. The black did here. Just try to play pawn to a6. I don't know why he plays here. Maybe he tried to do this move. It's actually like a waiting move, thinking that what the black white want to do. Is it want to do the castle or what? But actually, it's a mistake. You should not do that. Now to punish the black, there are two moves. Let's see. Can you figure out the two moves? And we'll discuss after you just find the answer. And if you find the answer, you can type in the chat box. So yeah, let's start. So now there is a two option. The number one is like you can play knight to e5, which happens in the game. So what is the threat in here? Knight to e5. The number one threat is like you want to do the checkmate with the bishop to f7. If you look at the king, it can't go anywhere. Okay, number two threat is you are threatening the bishop because there are two takers and only one defender, which is knight. So you can take him. So in a game, the black didn't see that thing. He thinks that the white did the blunder and he just took the queen. So when he took the queen, now it's a white to play. Can you figure out the mate in one? Yeah, the answer is bishop to f7, and that's a checkmate. Yeah, and what is the second move here, which you can figure out is like you can sacrifice first bishop to f7. What it will do, it will give the check, and the king has the option of either move on the d7 or take the bishop. So it's obvious that he will take the bishop because no one is defending the bishop. And once he takes the bishop, then you can just give the double attack with the knight to e5, which is attacking the king as well as bishop. And then whatever the black will defend with, like he can move the king, then you can just take the bishop. He will take your knight, and you will take his knight. So that you are a pawn up, as well as you destroy his castle. And you, if you see that this is the weakness, so you can anytime you can attack them and try to win the game. So that's all for today. That's a game between like two good players. So if you know that kind of tricks, you can apply in your game, and it doesn't like the same thing will happen in your game. but the idea will be same. I will also show you one of my students game in the further videos, where the student learn this trick, see this game, understand this game. After that, he try by himself something different. So I will show you that game also. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye.